Hello and welcome back to the Digital Marketing Podcast brought to you by targetinternet.com. My name is Kieran Rogers,
And I'm Daniel Rolls.
and today we are discussing the latest digital marketing tools.
Okay, so it had become a bit of a habit previously to do our tips and tools episodes. And we got to the point we were doing so many of them. It felt like a bit of a cop out because we used to do quite a few of them. And then it got to the point where I was really resistant to put them in. We haven't done one in ages. I've just looked back and it's been an absolute age since we've done one.
It's a
And
travesty. It's a travesty.
I've come across some really brilliant tools that have been very interesting in the last. I think just because there's so many AI assisted tools out there at the moment, there's a lot of good stuff and there's a lot of terrible stuff as well. Now, what we're also going to do is that we've suddenly found, because if we mention a tool on the podcast, lots of these tools get lots of new signups. They're very kind and they reach out to us and say, that was amazing. And they say, would you like a special offer for your listeners? Because they want us to plug it again, obviously. So we've reached out to a few organizations and they have given us special offers. So if you want those special offers, so we're going to go through the tools, you can obviously sign up to them directly. But if you come to the Target Internet website, we'll list those special offers. But what I'm going to try and do, as well as it being in the show notes, which will be targetinternet.com/podcast, we're also going to build a special offers page. So we'll list all of the stuff that podcast listeners can get special offers in the same place.
Mm-hmm.
So targetinternet.com/offers, and we'll start building the list up there. And then over time, we'll keep that updated for you as well. So let's go through and start with the first one, which I think is hugely powerful, hugely dangerous, but is really progressing quickly, which is Blaze. Don't think you've seen this yet, have you, Kieran?
No. Tell
Okay,
me
so
more.
Blaze,
What does it do?
Blaze is an AI-assisted social media publisher. So
It's got
you
nothing
can
to do
go
with
in.
starting fires.
No, and absolutely nothing whatsoever. But you're going
Okay.
to create some heat and a blaze within your social media. So what it allows you to do is to connect up. Imagine like you've got something like the tools like Hootsuite, right, that allow you
Yep.
to post all of your social things to multiple platforms and to create a content calendar. It's got that. Okay, so that's built into it. And one of the problems a lot of small organizations were having with Hootsuite was the fact that it got increasingly expensive as it was more of an enterprise tool. So I think Social Report was a relatively low cost one for going through and managing all your social platforms in one
I
place.
still love them. Absolutely love. It's such a good tool. What I love, Daniel, is that they're always first off the peg with integrating with new platforms that you might want to do. They're really
Very
good. They're
good.
really good for that. And I think their implementation of UTM and tracking codes is the bee's knees, in my opinion.
Okay, so this does all of this, but what, as well as doing that, the lowest price of this, by the way, is I think it's like $34 a month.
Okay,
So this
alright,
is a
that's
really
good.
good kind of low cost one as well. But what this does, as well as allowing you to post to multiple social platforms, gives you that content calendar so you can schedule all that stuff. It is all, it's got a load of AI powered stuff. Now, this is where the danger and the opportunity potentially comes in. So you go in and you create a brand kit. So your brand kit is basically your logos, your fonts, your colors, all those kind of things. You give it a brand voice so you can point it at your website and it will learn your brand voice. You can give it a load of source materials, which is articles and things about your products and all those kind of things. And then you can give it snippets, which are little kind of sound bites that fit in with your brand. Then what they've got is an absolute ton of templates. So think Canva in terms of the huge amount of templates that they've got. But you can go through, search on particular topics, but you can go through and say, I want to take this thing, apply my brand to that particular template, and you can create a social media post. So far, you've got a combination of something like Canva and something like Hootsuite or something similar. But where this goes a stage further is if I go through to my calendar, for example, I could go and say, okay, I want to create a month of content. And I can go through and give it a whole series of source documents and all those kind of things. And what it's going to do, if I ask it for some topics, it will come up with a load of AI ideas for content. And then it will potentially write those in my brand voice and everything else as well. So I can create a whole load of scheduled content on brand templates. I can take audio content and turn that into written content, video content to do the same kind of thing. And essentially, it's given me a way of streamline my social media content creation. So all good so far. It's just that the risk and the danger of all of this is that I can go through and I can basically pump out loads of really generic content.
AI slop, Daniel.
Yeah, absolutely. And it quickly, you could just do month after month of content, 5 posts a day across 10 platforms in literally minutes. It's that efficient at doing it. Now, it's got some quirks at the moment in that I would like to be able to edit the templates and save my own kind of versions of those. That's a little bit limited at the moment. But you can really see the potential in the tool and how much it could streamline things, and the ability to have a Canva, a content calendar, a poster, and it's got reporting built into it as well. So it's got analytics for all your different social channels as well. But the fact it's also got AI assistant built in to the same place is pretty amazing. Now, I'm not sure, does that fill you with horror or does that fill you with glee in terms of efficiency?
I don't. Do you know what? I really struggle to get excited about social media things, just because even throwing everything I've got at it, at a social channel, the juice just isn't worth the squeeze, in my opinion. So the time and the budget and the effort that it takes to just be largely ignored, really.
That is very true.
So, yeah, to be fair, I have recently rediscovered a passion for YouTube channels.
Okay.
Because YouTube for me, well, I've proven it. Like, you can get some significant traction in that channel for not a lot of effort. You just kind of have the video content, right? But actually, YouTube kind of optimization, it rocks. And it's definitely gameable. And I love that.
Well, there's an episode coming up soon then, because I'll be very interested in that, because I've have a number of projects where we've struggled with that as well. So it'd be good to get your insights into that maybe episode.
Yeah, we could do that. Okay.
So
I don't get very excited about social media platforms. And I think, just to be fair to Blaze, like, what an amazing tool, firstly. And you can't blame the tool if people do bad things with it, particularly. But there is risk. There is that risk, isn't there?
The interface is beautifully built. The functionality on the calendar is lovely. It's all very, very simple to use. And I think why I liked it comes back to your point maybe a little bit. It's like, it's a lot of effort. I go into one tool, I create something, I'm dragging it. The workflows really, really annoy me. And I've got so many fragmented tools. And therefore, actually having it in one place was really, really nice. I think that's a key part of it. So when these tools start integrating a bit better, that'll be great. But Blaze is doing a stellar job of doing that. And actually, it's really clever on their pricing. They'll go, well, to achieve this, you would need Hootsuite, you'd need Canva, you would need a professional version of ChatGPT.
100%.
You're getting it for $34 a month. So as I said, with all of these tools, or pretty much all the tools in this list today, we've got some special offers. So we've got a free month where you can access Blaze. So I think normally you get like 7 days, and we've got a free month for you to play around with it. So targetinternet.com/offers. But if you go to the show notes as well, targetinternet.com/podcast, you'll find it all there.
And I'm just going to give you another little tool. You all can use this. If you use this, take up this Blaze offer. It's a very simple thing. Just before you post stuff out, ask yourself, why am I posting it? Who is it for? And what is it that I'm really asking them to do? And is it going to be worth it? Like, because it's just so rife on so many company social channels where people just seem to be posting things for the sake of it without really thinking what's in it for the user. If you were in that user's shoes, what is in it for them? And actually, less is more with this. Post up one brilliant thing each week rather than a dozen really lackluster things, and be creative in what you're doing. Think about your customer. Think about the benefits. Think about what's in it for them. It's just so important.
Okay, so on this note, Rand Fishkin was on LinkedIn the other day. I was wondering what his videos. He's doing some brilliant videos lately. And he said, I am fed up with people saying, do less content, but do it better. And I'm fed up with people saying, just do better content. And he might have been referring specifically to us. I'm not sure.
Maybe.
I think that would show a bit of arrogance. I think he's even listening to what we're saying. But it's a fair point. So what I've started putting together, and will go out shortly after this episode, is a bit of a monologue from me on 5 ways you can create. It might even be 7 or 8 or 10 by the time I finished it. But you can create like practical step-by-steps of how you create exceptional content.
Yeah.
So real examples of walking through those things.
So,
going, right, here's an approach to doing it.
I'm curious, what is his answer? Just to do a ton of stuff?
No, I mean, for him, because he's very much focused on the PR side of things. So he would very much look at SparkToro and say, use SparkToro as a tool to go in and see what people are interested in, what other people are doing, come up with something that's original, all those kind of things. So he's got a process. And obviously he wants to sell his tool, which makes and it is a brilliant tool. So, and I've actually included it in this upcoming podcast. So listen out for that.
So it is a brilliant tool, and it's because it enables you to get you right to the point. like the point that matters. That's what I love about.
What do these people care about? What are they looking at?
Exactly that. Years ago, I did this. It's a time management course by Mark Joyner. I think I might have spoken to it before.
Yeah, you did mention it.
Simpleology, the simple science of getting what you want. And I fell over in love with this course, and he got us to do this exercise with a pencil and a spoon. Right, so you had to take a pencil. We actually took a wooden spoon first. You had to punch a hole in a cereal box with a wooden spoon, which you end up just mangling. You end up just mangling the box, right? But if you take a pencil and punch it into a cereal box, it goes straight through. And I think that's, it gets straight to the point. Like, and it channels all the energy into one point, which is the point of the pencil. That's why it works, right? And I think that's what tools like Spark Turo do. They give you the intel to not push massively hard in every direction and waste loads of energy. Like, it focuses the energy on what's actually going to make the difference. And hats off to Rand and the team for creating it, because
I'm a bit sad.
It's awesome.
Do you know why I'm a bit sad? Because
why are you sad?
You just did an analogy that was really, really good, and Louise wasn't here, because normally you do an analogy and she starts pulling faces.
I know.
Like, where is he going with this? That was a good one.
Maybe Louise is my kryptonite.
Maybe that's it. She makes you do silly analogies. Maybe that's it. We'll see. She'll be back in the next episode soon, so don't worry. So good. We'll do that again. Okay, let's keep moving on. Right, the next one is one that you introduced me to, which is Freepik, which is free PIK on the end. Again, we've got some special offers, so come through to targetinternet.com/offers to get those. Yeah. But tell us about Freepik. But the one you're very excited about is the fact that it can use lots of different models, and it uses something called Flux 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it does. So so there's lots of models in it. What I love about Freepik, what they've done is they've hooked it up to all sorts of different image generators, which are all available to make use of and install on your own installations. But let's face it, life's a bit short for doing that unless you're very technically minded. I wouldn't put myself in that class. So you get to play around with some of the latest tools that they've installed on their platform. And I was really surprised to see they've actually, if you pay for the tool, if you could take out a pro license, you get to play. Yeah. So Flux is a really amazing AI image generation tool. Right, so the standard model is like Flux 1, but they've brought out Flux 1.0 and Flux 1.1 as well. And the Flux 1.1 is very new. And if you want to have a go at playing around with Flux 1.1, it's just brilliant. Like, I've not come across a system that's as good as this for creating photorealistic images off of a prompt. What I really love about it, and I think I shared a few examples with you, Daniel, is its ability. A lot of the image generation tools really struggle when you ask them to include text. Right? I spent ages this time last year. I wanted to thank somebody that had done something above beyond for me. And I had this image in my head. I wanted the Hollywood sign, but instead of saying Hollywood, I wanted to say, thank you, Dave.
Fair enough.
Just couldn't do it. It just couldn't do it after about 15
And did Flux
minutes.
do it okay?
Do you know what? I haven't tried, but I know it would. I know it would.
Because you sent me some happy birthday cakes and things like that, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
You can say, for photorealistic.
Write the whole thing in cake, or write it on the cake, or make it the size of a city and get it to spell this. It'll do all of this stuff, so it can do incredible things. But what I really loved playing around with this is you can create characters, right? So with a character, and this both fills me with dread and solves lots of problems that I've been having. The problem of you've created an amazing image in an AI image generator and you want to get the same character to do something else.
Right, yeah.
Such a problem because it's just random. You just get random faces. And what you can do with this is you can develop a character. So they've got a couple of slots here where you can upload high resolution photos of your character. And actually this opens the door to, if you were to do a model shoot, for example, you could get lots of different angles, close-ups, far-aways, different poses, different expressions.
Right.
And the system's going to learn to do this. Now, I had a particular use case for this, which is I do work at a gold company. And the gold company, we like to generate images of gold coins. And image generators, AI image generators, always, without fail, will generate something random that just looks like some random chocolate coin design. You know,
plastic, bit of plastic, real plastic gold.
No, it looks like gold, but it's just got some Mickey Mouse like design on it that just looks like it came out of a Christmas cracker. And they're not very realistic at all. So I thought, I wonder. So I fed it lots of images of a gold Britannia. And do you know what? it started producing realistic images of the gold Britannia. Now, admittedly, in my little experiment, I only had one size of the coin kind of shot at a certain distance. So when I asked my character to hold it up to light, he actually held up one that was like 5 times the normal size. I wish. Like gold's £2,300 an ounce at the moment. So that would be at least a 5-ounce coin. It'd be worth a fortune. But yeah, but that's not the fault of the tool. Look, it actually did. And actually, remember, this is a character tool. So it's supposed to be like understanding people, but actually I was able to get it to understand an object. And I thought that was particularly interesting. We've been struggling with that. Definitely give it a go. It's got some other amazing features in it as well. So you can actually animate your still images and bring them to life. And it did a pretty good job of that. I had somebody holding a card with a caption on it, and I got them to speak, right? And obviously you can't actually hear them speaking. And I got very excited when it said there was a lip sync feature. I thought, we'll have a go at that. But all it really did was it just spoke the words. The lips weren't synced. That was still in beta. It's still being developed. So I think there's some work to do on that one. But just loads of potential. And I think, the fact that you get it within your Freepik Pro subscription, if you do start using the thing to generate a video, it does go through your credits pretty quickly, it has to be said. But you can play around with the tool on Freepik for free. You just won't be able to get that amazing Flux 1.1 latest model. But actually, Flux in itself is amazing. So yeah, check it out, give it a go.
I just like the fact that you can go in there and you can try out all the different models, you can experiment, you can play around there, and they bring the new ones in all the time as well. So you're kind of getting the latest insights from it. So it's one place to kind of use them all. One
tool I really love is the upscaler. Yes, it does. It does take low res images and upscales them, which is like super handy sometimes when you can't find the original artwork for stuff.
And it did it as well. All right, have a look at Freepik. Okay, the next one I've been playing with lots, and the results are incredible. So, Content Raptor. So what Content Raptor does is it connects up to your Google Search Console.
Yeah.
It goes through your content and it looks at where you're already getting traffic, what you're ranking pretty well for.
Mm-hmm.
But it then goes in and tries to work out, okay, how could you get more traffic for this particular piece of content? And it will do a load of keyword research to go through and try and understand the related search terms and say, look, if you added a section on this, you would potentially get some additional traffic because you would rank some additional search terms that you haven't built into it at the moment as well. So it comes back to, there was a great Neil Patel post that said, look, what's the benefit of just creating new content or updating existing content? So there's a bit of a sweet spot. Yes, you want to create new content, but you probably want to spend more time updating what you've already got and improving it and making the quality better. And I did an experiment. So I took one of our top pages. We've got a page on the Target Internet website, which is the highest paid YouTubers. So if you Google highest paid YouTubers, you'll find us, we're either number one or we're normally very near the top of Google for that particular phrase. And I hadn't updated it for a while. And I did some analysis and it said, look, if you just add in a few new sections and you do this and that, include these different phrases, you have got potential extra X thousand visits a month. I was like, really? Okay. So I went through and I've updated it. And lo and behold, we've got over 2,000 extra visits to the website just from and it took me half an hour to go through and do it.
Wow.
And I wrote the content. It has got a tool that will use AI to help you write the content. But I was like, no, I'm going to write the content myself, do it in my tone of voice, all that kind of stuff. So it's a really lovely tool for analyzing what you've got, suggesting edits, suggesting improvements, adding sections in, and really has a drastic impact on your search rankings because it makes sense because you've already got some rankings for something. You just haven't included all the variations of phrases that people are thinking about. So it's easy for Google to then go in and say, we're already ranking for that. We might as well rank you for this thing as well, because we can see it's a high quality piece of content on that topic.
Yeah.
We've got a special offer this one where you get 20% off the price for forevermore. Come through targetinternet.com/podcast for the show notes for this episode. Or if you go targetinternet.com/offers, you'll find all of these offers in there as well. So yeah, I really love it. It's a lovely interface. You set it up and you need to leave it for 24 hours to connect up to your search console and do its bit. But it's really good at doing that.
Content Raptor. I'm going to be checking that out. One you just made me think of actually, and I don't know whether we've mentioned this before. We mentioned the Google Organic Search Traffic Report in Google Analytics. So this is, I don't know whether this is new or not, or whether I've just not come across it before. But if you've taken the trouble to connect Search Console to your Google Analytics, your GA4.
Yep.
If you have a look in the menu, you get Search Console. Underneath that is queries. Okay, we all understand that because that's your Search Console data. But there's another report there called Google's Organic Search Traffic. What I love about this, it looks at your organic pages, like that people land on, right? So organic landing pages. And then it gives you a whole bunch of really useful GA4 metrics, including, Daniel, key events. Right? So these are your conversions. So actually, for the first time in years, you can actually begin to see, gosh, how many conversions this month did we drive off our homepage or off of that page we've got on how to do X, Y, Z? You actually see it. It's not perfect.
No,
Right.
I do know exactly what you mean, because
Really
I
good.
looked at this. I was running a course and I knew you had the page that told you which pages were getting your traffic.
Yeah.
But they've changed the name of it, and actually it's giving you a load more detail. So you can see how many clicks you've got, how many impressions you got in Google, your average click-through rate, your average position in Google, and all those sorts of things.
Yeah.
So what I thought was fascinating is if I go through to my queries, that's the words that people are searching for in here, I can see the words, and each of those words might be getting 200 or 300 maybe clicks each. But then when you go through to the organic traffic, look at your pages, there are pages that are driving 6,000-7,000 visits each. So you get, okay, right, it's each of these pages is ranking for multiple phrases. So it starts to help you drive that connection. So it very much demonstrates what we were just talking about.
But if you're very results driven and you do have online conversions, so it's not going to help people that are converting offline, but if you've got online conversions, I think this massively helps sort the wood out of the trees, right? So
which are the important pages?
Yeah. So for ages now, I've been servicing this piece of content that drives loads of traffic because I haven't really had an easy way of seeing, but how many like conversions or sales or leads are we getting from that particular piece of content? And actually, I can see we get none. So the fact that piece of content has dropped 40% in terms of traffic doesn't matter. Like, I shouldn't really care. And this is the thing, like for a long time, we've been locked in on SEO on, you just have to take it as read that traffic is good. No, it's not. It's not. And one of the other things I've noticed recently is because Google have gotten really good at serving up AI answers within that, although you might be seeing an impression rise, like a rise in your impression share, actually you can see a decrease in your click-through rate, I think, off the back of this. I'd be really interested if anyone else is noticing this, but I've been looking at a couple of different Google Analytics and Google Search Console properties, and it's, this seems to have shifted. So I'm really interested to know if anyone else is noticing that. And I think it makes sense to me that actually, if AI is surfacing the answer, potentially even from your content, right? Well, that's good, but you're not going to get the clicks necessarily.
Just going back to this report, the Google Organic Search Traffic report, what's nice is where it says key events, you can actually click on those key events and you can select the particular event that you're in. Totally. So it does give you some filtering options.
It does rely on somebody having chosen what key events are, and everybody should be checking this. If you've just got hundreds of events and all the default events, it does make it really difficult with a lot of the reports to see like what's important and what's not. So your key events should be things that really add value for you.
Because this confuses people a lot, I created a free interactive course of how to set up your key events step by step. So we'll put it into the show notes. So targetinternet.com/podcast, and it will literally just walk you through it step by step.
It's just the episode that keeps on giving, right?
There you go, exactly. Let's move on to the next one, which is Custom GPT. Okay, so this isn't a custom GPT that you get within ChatGPT. This is a tool that was called it before they launched that bit of functionality. So they must be kicking themselves a little bit. But what it allows you to do is create a version of kind of ChatGPT, but to absorb a ton of your own content. So for example, I could give it all 400 and whatever it is, 415, 416 at this point, episodes of the Digital Marketing Podcast. It will transcribe them all and it will put that into its knowledge base. And then I can query that and I can ask it questions. I can talk about where did we talk about a particular topic, or we could use it to ask questions and find out which were the worst analogies that Kieran has ever done and things like that as well. Yeah.
We could just get it to invent new ones.
Yeah, exactly.
499 bad analogies and one good one, which Louise missed.
Yeah, exactly. Right. But you can literally, so you can upload your entire website worth of content, and you can then build it into your website. So your search everyone's search functionality is generally a bit rubbish, whereas actually this will create for you really impressive AI-driven search results from your website and your content, or from your podcast, or from your videos. And it will take a huge format, a range of different formats of content as well. So I just think it's not the cheapest tool. I think it starts at $99 a month, but that gives you a lot for $99 a month. But for any serious scale website, there's a lot you can do with it. And we've got a special offer where you can get a free month of that again as well. So take a look, think about the creative options of how you could bring all your own content in and build something a little bit special as well. Now, while we're talking about AI and AI generated content, it's worth coming back to one that you mentioned really briefly last time. And I was playing with live in a training course today, which was Surfer's AI content detector.
Yeah.
Talk us through it.
Yeah. So a Surfer SEO, amazing SEO tool, by the way. If you haven't checked it out, I found their tool like gives you a lot of guidance, really holds your hand through the whole content creation process and keeps it optimized throughout that whole process. But what they've done, they've created this free tool which helps to detect artificial intelligence, and it's a lot better than a lot of the tools out there, which just tend to rely on certain stock phrases that GPTs are pretty well known for throwing in. And the moment I say that, I can't never think of any, but there are a few on there.
Well, there's like moreover, starting a sentence with moreover, and then my favorite one, in the modern era. And there's a lot of that stuff. I've got a list of kill phrases, which basically, if it's writing anything from where I say, do not use these phrases as well. Now, I've worked out a way of fooling Surfer's AI detector.
Have you?
Well, to some extent.
How'd you do it?
To some extent, Pages are one of my books.
Right.
And I said, write me a description of the tone of voice of this content that I can use in future prompts.
Okay.
So rather than trying to write a tone of voice myself, I got ChatGPT to analyze and write a tone of voice. And it wrote this 3 or 4 paragraph long description of how I write.
Yeah.
Then I use that in every prompt. And if you write using that style with a list of kill words, gradually learn, I wouldn't say that.
Yeah.
When I then put that into Surfer, it's saying, no, I don't think this is AI generated.
I was using this on a whole bunch of CVs that we've been sent. And because they were all like remarkably the same. And it said with 98% confidence that they'd all been written by AI. And
don't get me, it's a really good tool. But the point being is that if I really work on getting the AI tools to work right in my tone of voice, they write in a way that is remarkably similar to my writing.
Yes.
So therefore, I'm happy that that's not really AI generated content. I've had to add a lot to that to get it to do it effectively.
So it comes down to knowing how to get the best out of these new tools, isn't it?
Yeah, really? That's exactly it.
And I think most people aren't doing that. They're just like, write me this, write me that. Yeah. And actually, there's a better way. There is a better way.
Bear in mind as well, what was quite interesting is that you can pay for the Surfer paid for tool and it will humanize your content for you.
Yep.
So it's using AI to humanize the AI generated content so you can avoid being detected by an AI detecting AI. So go stick that in your pipe and smoke it. This is the world we find ourselves in. Okay. Yeah. That's more than enough AI for now. One thing, a tool that we previously mentioned that I'm a big fan of, that I was showing someone again today, and they've sent us a lovely special offer, which is 50% off for 3 months, which is competitors.app. So what it allows you to do is to monitor all of your competitors, their ads, their website content, their emails, all their social media, their online reviews, all of that stuff in one place. It creates you a dashboard that tells you what's happened and what hasn't. But it also then gives you a kind of summary. So you can scan through and say, oh, we should maybe be doing some stuff on that. Or look what they're doing. That could be interesting to investigate. But it gives you a process of monitoring your competitors. So again, all of these things, targetinternet.com/podcast for the show notes, but we will set up a special page and we'll keep building up all these special offers for you. So targetinternet.com/offers.
It's particularly good, I think, because everybody knows that we should be doing competitive research and research on competitors, but we never have the time to do it.
No, and it always falls by the wayside.
It does. But when you've got this set up and working, you never miss a trick.
No.
It's so good.
Interface now as well. They have made it great. Just something else to mention. So as you probably know, targetinternet.com members get access to our monthly masterclasses, which are those half-day online sessions and our 1-hour update sessions. Bear in mind, those 1-hour update sessions are always available to our newsletter subscribers as well. So if you're a podcast listener and you haven't subscribed to the newsletter, it's really worth doing. There's no sales, no ads in there. It will just give you a load of stuff that we find useful, which is maybe on our website or someone else's, but you get notification and invites to these 1-hour update sessions. So targetinternet.com/newsletter to go and find that. But I'm very excited. We have an advanced prompting masterclass coming up, and I have been doing a ton of work on this. So we've got our ChatGPT and generative AI hands-on masterclass that we do fairly regularly, and that one's very well attended. But this advanced prompting, and it is properly advanced. So we're talking JSON prompts. We're talking about all sorts of different methods that you can use to get it to prompt in much more effective ways and get more out of these tools. And I think coming back to what Kieran just said, loads of people are using these tools, not many people are using them effectively. And it can feel a little bit overwhelming. And hopefully what we think the Target Internet membership does, is just give you a way of kind of learning on an ongoing basis. Check it out, see if you fancy membership, but at the very least, get signed up for that newsletter and you'll get the free stuff.
You might even get some free merch.
Yes,
And
that as well.
if you get one of these mugs,
Have you still not got one?
please send me a photo of one. I haven't even seen them.
Look, you can see one here. I mean, you can't see this online, but there's these beautiful,
Oh, look at that.
and they come in all
Look at
different
that.
colours.
That one doesn't
as
have
well.
my face on it. You said it had my
No,
face on
no,
it.
that's the coasters, which I am trying to open my drawer quietly whilst we're recording a podcast to reach one out of my drawer and to show you one of these things. And so this doesn't really work from an audio point of view, but it's actually the podcast logo as a coaster.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, all right. Sure. Rather than making a mental note, which I seem to do every episode and then immediately forget afterwards, I'm making a physical note now.
It's my birthday coming up soon, Daniel, which you invariably forget. But I tell you,
How dare you?
I normally get a message through you in April going, oh
So
terrible
why don't
friend.
you tell listeners when your birthday is? And they might send you some nice
26th of
things.
March. Yeah.
26th of March, and you'll be 21. It's going to be amazing.
I should be. I've forgotten how old I am.
That's a good point not to tell people your age,
yeah.
because then they'll start checking your date of birth and doing all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah, we don't want to do that.
All right. On that note of Kieran's increasing wisdom,
It's a lovely way of putting it. Yeah.
check out all of those special offers we've spoken about. Please get signed up to the newsletter, and we'd love to have you a member of targetinternet.com, because it's lovely, because every time we do the masterclasses, we're getting a group of people that keep coming back. Everyone's getting to know each other and so on as well. So thank you for listening to the Digital Marketing Podcast, and we'll speak to you again soon. For more episodes, resources, to leave a review, or to get in contact, go to targetinternet.com/podcast.